Hey Avish, how's it, my friend?
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
Good, man. It's nice to get cricket back on the table, especially IPL. It's been surreal because who would have expected IPL to happen this year with all the tamasha with COVID? Yeah.
I think everybody in the cricketing world is actually relieved that the IPL has finally begun. And it's been fascinating. I mean, we've had three fascinating games so far. Hasn't been very high scoring, but I think these low scoring games are actually keeping you on the edge of your seats. Uh, it all started on Saturday. That was quite a cracking game. I mean, it could have been either way. Um, 162 by Mumbai. It was pretty. I mean, it was a decent score uh,
Yes, you're right,
in the
man.
context. In the context, but it was a decent score, But I think probably Mumbai they let Chennai off the hook there
Yes.
towards the middle overs. They didn't probably take enough wickets. You know, it obviously both teams haven't played cricket for a while, and
Yes.
and, and obviously plays as well. So there was a bit of rustiness, which is actually forgivable. And given the season we've had, it's been like really a stop start sort of season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
it was a good outing for both teams. Obviously, Chennai, the experience probably showed in the end. During the run chase because they've got quite an experienced squad. But Mumbai, I think they'd be a bit disappointed with their bowling. Their bowling probably let them down in that game.
yes, yeah, what I've actually observed in this early days, right? But with Mumbai, let alone them being slow starters. In the previous time they played in this specific venue or in this country per se, they haven't really played well at all. In fact, it was actually their luck that they came back to India because that's when everything started to click for them. So, and now that the IPL is going to be mainly and I know it's early days, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go far this year. But that's just my call, and it's a big call because I do like Mumbai, but there are some other teams I like Kolkata, Punjab, and but we'll get into that match just now. So yeah, I think yeah, man, the Mumbai match was disappointing, but Chennai are a class side. I mean, they can play under all conditions, in my opinion. Anyway,
Look, Chennai is quite an experienced squad. If you had to take most of the squads in the IPL, they're
yes,
probably barring Mumbai, they probably got the most experienced squad. I mean, they haven't really chopped and changed a lot of players, especially their top order has
yes,
remained, constant for a good couple of seasons. The one thing with Mumbai, they're a bit of an inconsistent outfit. You're
yes,
really not sure what you're going to get from them sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, notoriously slow starters at the start of the competition, but you almost get a feeling that there's always going to be one bad performance in them, you know, and there's going to be one good performance. So it's all about getting that consistency going, and I think a team like Chennai has that consistency. Uh,
yeah.
I
At
mean, to call
least
them contenders, I mean, they're always going to be a dangerous side because, as I
yeah, but
say,
I wouldn't call them strong
they
favorites because of this venue itself. And I know I shouldn't judge a team based on venue, but if I'm remembering how they played here the last time, they were dismal, man. The last time here in Mumbai, it was actually because they came back to India, things just started to click. Like with Punjab, the complete opposite happened. When they came back to India, they just played shit. Excuse my language. I shouldn't swear in front of the people watching this, but damn, Punjab were great here in the UAE, yeah, which is the current venue, but now, at least in this match with Mumbai, there wasn't any controversy, which leads us to this match, which you can see in this. Yeah,
oh, I mean, if there's one incident in the Punjab and Delhi match, it's obviously going to be spoken about for a long time. It's going to be that
short
run
run.
that was not called, and
Yes,
it absolutely. I mean, if you can have a look at the TV replays and you would see clearly the bat crossed the line there, and that should have been awarded to Punjab, and that would have been the game.
Yeah, man.
And
I was
it's
so
amazing
upset.
how a small incident like that
Yeah.
has cost them the game.
Yeah,
It's amazing how a small incident like that has cost them the game.
even called it. It was so bad, and I was hoping it wouldn't have happened, but the commentators did call the mockers on it. They really mocked them, and not only that, I mean, even despite that terrible umpiring, they should have still won the match. I mean, 2-1 run, two balls. It brings memories of our 1999 World Cup semi-final.
Most certainly, I would say Punjab really choked here.
Yeah.
I would say Punjab really choked in this game because even though they were losing wickets, I mean, it was just a case of one run. It's just a case of one run and the game is over. I think the set batsman Agarwal, he obviously threw his wicket away. He threw his wicket away. He was the guy that was supposed to get them over the line.
Yeah,
I mean, he played so well. He was superb. I mean, he dug them out of a hole, and they were in quite a big hole, and he dug them out. And I mean, this is the beauty of the IPL. I mean, a team can start so poorly, but they're always in the game. They're always in the game, and you're always going to get these finishes where it's going to go down to the last over. And this game just summed it up. It went down to the last ball, and Punjab did not have the bottle. They didn't have the bottle. They didn't have the power to get across the line, and it's quite a frustrating thing for a coach. It's quite a frustrating thing for a coach.
But it just requires some common sense,
see a team.
Yeah, but then it's
definitely
funny.
Most certainly.
But this also brings a question of technology, because when you can use technology for many things, why not just use it for the short run? I mean, they must allow the third umpire to correct umpires' mistakes. You cannot just allow the third umpire only to correct no balls, run-outs, and catches. He must be allowed to correct everything.
Look, there's so much of technology, that's used these days, and there's no reason for teams to suffer bad decisions or batsmen to suffer bad decisions anymore, any longer. I mean, the umpire is the umpire.
Yeah.
However, technology is there to eliminate the error. So I think there was a huge error that was made, but I don't want us to dwell on that.
Yeah.
I think Punjab really stuffed this game up themselves.
Yeah.
They made a good they did a good job of stuffing this game up. It was there for the taking.
Yes.
You could say they really choked, big time. I mean, there was no pressure.
Yeah.
All the fielders were in, and all they had to do was just get a single, and the game was over. And they just gave Delhi an opening day. I mean, you could just see it going into the super over that Delhi had confidence. Going to that super over, and Punjab looked a bit rattled.
Yes.
They looked a bit, I could say dispirited. They were definitely dispirited after getting so close to victory and really throwing it away. They actually
they stole defeat from the
they escaped. I mean,
they stole
most
defeat
certainly.
From the
I mean,
man.
They stole defeat from the jaws of victory.
I don't want to sound so great, but it just feels like match fixing here, man. How can you stuff up a match like this? Even a second-grade team could have won this match, especially when they had top players there. They had Mayank Agarwal, and then, and with due respect to Stoinis, he didn't bowl two great balls. I mean, the second last ball could have just been, hit even to the third man. It'd been done and dusted, but anyway. But speaking of a game that wasn't stuffed up, look at this, your favorite team, Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers. This is what you call a clean victory. No thrill of frills. Yeah.
Finally, RCB has the rub of the green. Yeah, I mean, generally it doesn't start well for RCB.
Yeah.
So, but finally they have something to cheer about. It was a fantastic bowling performance from RCB yesterday. I mean, at one stage they looked quite comfortable to get close to 200, but I think the pitch slowed down a bit there, and I was a bit skeptical with 163. I was thinking to myself, whether this was enough against a team like Sunrisers. But I would say Sunrise is in a way getting back to that Kings 11. I mean, not as bad as how Kings 11, threw the game away. But I think Sunrises this collapse. You don't really see collapses like this very often, and this was one mighty collapse yesterday from Sunrises.
Yeah.
Abesto, he was in scintillating form. I mean, he
Yeah.
could have easily taken them home, but I
Yeah.
think he tried to play one shot too many. And Chahal had a superb game. He bowled beautifully. Chahal bowled beautifully yesterday, and there were a lot of bowlers that obviously supported him. I think the only question mark in RCB's bowling performance was Yadav. He's been too expensive,
Yes.
I'm not sure. What's the plan with him for the next game. But I mean, he's quite an experienced campaigner, and he's been expensive for quite a few seasons now. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure if RCB are going to be losing patience with him because Saini had a good game as well. Saini bowled beautifully, especially
Yeah.
with those short pitch bowling.
I have to
I
watch.
just think RCB is lacking that.
Yeah.
If they really want to go far in this competition, they need to get that fourth bowler. A good consistent bowler that's going to be drying up the runs and also be taking wickets. So it's just that you're going to get a game where it's going to be very tight, and you got a guy like Yadav that's going to be bowling, and he cannot be giving so many runs away in a crucial game. I mean, it was a fantastic performance from RCB. I mean, to a bowling performance that I haven't seen in a while from them. Everybody complimented each other. It's just that I have a concern with Yadav. He didn't bowl very well yesterday, and I'm not sure who's going to take his place if they lose patience with him. But
Yeah.
that's my only concern at the moment with RCB is a fourth bowler,
Yeah.
because there have been seasons where they've been tinkering with their bowling lineup and it hasn't worked out. So that's the only concern that I have at the moment is that fourth bowler.
Okay. That's interesting. So, if you don't mind, we can head into today's blockbuster match, which is between the Rajasthan Royals and Chennai.
Wow, what a match! IPL has dishes out blockbusters every single day, and
Yeah,
this one is
and
no
and
exception.
and you're the
I,
squad there. This is the squad for the
it's
Rajasthan Royals. You got Steven Smith, still
if you
the
look at the squad, it's quite an experienced squad.
hmm,
There's experienced campaigners in the squad, international
hmm,
campaigners. I think Miller would probably add something to their batting lineup. Give them a little bit of you know uh, variety now
hmm.
to that batting order, especially in towards the latter end of the innings. When you really need those big hits, he's going to be there. Go-to man at the moment. It looks a solid top order with you've got Smith, you've got Butler.
Yeah, man. I've always
Yeah, I mean
like well,
there's quite a few all rounders.
yeah, man. And now when I look at, I remember Miller used to play for Punjab, which meant that the Punjab let him go, and I didn't actually realize it. So it just shows that, yeah, man, things happen in the IPL so quickly that players come and go, or the players get sent to other teams. It's crazy. Like look at Ashwin. He was with the Punjab, and then he was traded for the Daredevils. So I guess it kind of was Ashwin's sweet revenge. You threw me out, but I got you back. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the
I
Chennai's
mean,
team.
this is definitely, I mean, the beauty of the IPL. I mean, there's a lot of chopping and changing sometimes, and players when they leave a franchise and they go to another franchise, it sometimes works for the better,
Hmm.
or it sometimes backfires. But generally, I think when a player leaves a franchise, he wants to obviously prove something to his
Yeah.
previous franchise that he was good enough to play
Yeah.
for them, but
Yeah.
wasn't given enough chances.
Mm.
But
And
I think Miller's inclusion in Rajasthan, it offers a lot of balance to the squad, and I
yeah.
think Rajasthan was missing that finisher down the order. So they've probably got him now with Miller, and it's obviously Punjab's loss here, because they
Yes.
could have done with Miller the other night, getting them home. So if you look at Punjab with Muller not there, it's their lineup is looking a bit thin at the moment.
And if you look at the Chennai squad,
Their batting
yeah,
lineup is looking a bit thin.
yeah, but if you look at the Chennai squad, it looks very good. Like got Imran Tahir, we all know he's great. Josh Hazelwood is class. Faf has done very well. Sam Curran is great. Piyush is not so bad. Wayne, oh yeah, I
Look,
think
it's a
Wayne,
very experienced squad, no doubt
yeah,
about that.
and then Captain Dhoni,
I mean,
he's still
experienced
obviously
campaigners in Dhoni, experienced campaigners in Faf,
Jadeja,
experienced campaigners in Jadeja. Well, Jadhav
and
has played for them quite a while now.
Lungi Ngidi is
Uh,
class. We all know,
Rayudu, you've got
yeah,
Rayudu.
yes,
Uh,
Raidu,
I don't
yeah.
know, question marks on Ngidi the other night. He was a
Okay,
little bit expensive,
okay.
an
Player
expensive side, so we're
bounces.
not sure,
Yeah, and Watson is
But I mean,
another
he's more of a rhythm
experienced.
bowler.
Yeah, and Watson is another experienced
Watson,
campaigner.
for sure.
Yeah, man,
Um,
it's
I don't
really
think VJ. I think they're expecting a lot from VJ because he didn't have a good game last game. But I mean, they've got such an experienced middle order that even if they lose a few wickets, they can still uh, you know they're still in the game. So they're one of those sides that are very difficult to play against because they never really give up.
mm,
They never really give up the fight. They always in it. So
yeah.
it's a difficult side to play against. I think if you have to beat them, you got to be on your game. You got to be on your A game.
But
So
but if you had a call, yeah.
it's going to be a cracking match. It's
But
going to be
who
a
would
cracking match.
you? But
I'm
who would you?
expecting.
But who would you predict to win for today's match?
Geez, it's a tough one. Hey, uh, if I was a betting man, I probably want to make some money here. I'd go with Rajasthan.
Ooh,
I
okay,
would go with
nice.
Rajasthan because I mean, if you look at both sides, Rajasthan's got quite an attacking batting
Mm.
lineup, so you can't really take them lightly. My only concern maybe probably the bowling. I don't know if they're a bit thin there, but if they had to chase a score down, I think they'd back themselves to chase.
Really? Okay, interesting.
It'd be interesting to see what the wicket is like.
Mm.
It'd be interesting to see what the wicket is like, but I know they're playing in Sharjah, so
Okay.
Sharjah is it's a smaller venue than Dubai and
Yes.
UAE. So I'm probably expecting a high scoring game because the ground is not that big. But you could get you could get I'd say a score like between 170 and 180
That'd be a
could
very good
be quite a
score.
good score.
Very
Quite a
good
good
score
score,
so
quite a
far. If
competitive
you're
score.
going by,
Yeah,
if you're looking at all the matches so
yeah, for
far, and
sure.
you get a score of 170, 180, I think if Chennai gets it batting first, I feel they'll win. But if Chennai are chasing it, then it could be 50-50 because it's Chennai, you can never write them off, especially when you're batting of Dhoni and
You can never
Jadeja
write
and
them off,
Buff.
definitely. But I mean, it's
Hmm.
been fascinating these low scoring games. But I just got a feeling because of the venue and things, you're going to get a high scoring game today. You're probably going to get a high scoring game. I mean, it could go either way, as I say. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably just tip Rajasthan, yeah,
Fair enough.
based on
Yeah, yeah.
look at the batting lineup and things. But I mean, side with Dhoni, I mean, they're going to be fighting till the end.
Yeah, it's funny you said
That's
Rajasthan
the
Royals
sort of
because
leader
I
Dhoni
have
is.
this little nagging feeling that they could pivot today. I have a feeling, but obviously you can never write off Chennai. Hence, I would be kind of wanting to avoid this match. But if I have to, I'll probably be a bit chicken and just go with the expected and just say Chennai. But obviously, if Rajasthan win, I won't be surprised. I mean, obviously, not to be controversial, I know the Mumbai fans will hate me, but I feel Chennai have got a better chance than Mumbai of winning this year's IPL. But I know it's early
Most
days. So.
definitely. I mean, Look, if you look at the opening game, I think Chennai adapted better to the conditions than Mumbai. Even when they were batting, I know they lost a few early wickets, but I mean, the way they paced their innings thereafter. I mean, they were comfortable with the wicket, whereas Mumbai were just trying to play too many shots, and there were a lot of poor shot selection, and they were very soft, quite a few soft dismissals that you know got them to that score, which I think was about 20 runs short of a good total on that wicket,
Yeah,
because the wicket was quite good. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for Mumbai. I mean, it's not easy to. I mean, to lose your first game, you're always going to be at the back foot, in
yeah,
a competition like this. So
yeah,
how they're going to get momentum now is, try and get their batting set, their batting lineup a little bit more settled, and try and see if they can pace the innings a little bit better. Don't play too many shots too early, which is what they did against Chennai. They just try to go after the bowlers, which is not how you should do it. I mean, you still got to play old-fashioned good cricket, where you got to see out
mm,
the opening bowlers. You play your shots. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
you're attacking the power play overs, but you got to keep wickets in hand as well. You got to keep
yeah,
wickets in hand, and against the better sides, you're obviously going to be found wanting.
yes,
You've got to score as much runs as possible against the better sides, because a score like 150, 160 is not going to be good enough.
mm,
You got to target 180, 190. I
yes,
mean, in some other cases, 200. But I mean, in my opinion, I don't think you're going to get a lot of 200 scores here on these pitches, because they seem to slow down a bit. I don't know if you've noticed that, but after 10 overs, it seems to slow down a bit. And the
yes,
boundaries are quite big at Dubai as well.
mm,
Dubai Cricket Stadium. I mean, the boundaries are quite big, so it's going to take a lot of effort to clear those boundaries. But uh, scores like 160, 170 are going to be good scores,
yes,
winnable scores. I mean, those are the sort of totals that you can defend on these wickets. Whereas if it was in India, you'd probably say 180, 190, you're not safe.
yeah,
You're not safe because those pitches are so flat, and they a lot of time they don't offer much to the bowlers.
yes,
You've really got to be very crafty in order to take wickets.
yes.
Whereas here, there is a bit of assistance, especially for the spinners and the fast bowlers. You just got to put the ball in the right place.
Yeah, and I think that's good for cricket. I mean, you don't want to see the same, you know, same kind of matches. So in a way, it's kind of that's why I say that I might, with Mumbai, they might prove me wrong, and they'll, by some design, win the tournament because as we've all noticed, they kind of peak towards the end. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, let's just focus on today's match and may the best team win, eh?
May the best team win. But I'd say it's still early days.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of cricket left in this tournament.
definitely.
Uh, I would say uh, 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 RCB. I mean, if they continue with the way that they are
Mm,
playing, and
yeah,
if we look at AB, I mean, he was in scintillating form last night. And if AB has a big tournament, along with Kohli and along with the other top order players, I think RCB look good for a playoff. At least,
definitely.
and anything beyond that is a bonus.
Yeah,
I would say the one team that's in a bit of trouble, even at this early stage, is Sunrisers. It seems like
really.
their batting lineup is a bit thin.
Oh,
I don't know if you agree with me, but I've just observed that their batting lineup looks really thin at the moment.
I
I mean,
have to confess, I
you
haven't
got those two
actually.
guys after order.
I have to confess, I didn't watch the highlights of yesterday's match, so you would know better. But I'll definitely try and catch up on the highlights. I was pretty bad yesterday,
Most certainly.
so
Yeah, I
I'll have
mean,
to.
there's a lot of new faces in that lineup. I mean, the under 19 captain of India, Garg, he was there. He made his debut yesterday. Very young player,
Yeah,
and there was another guy that they bought, Shankar, Vijay Shankar. He
yeah,
didn't have a good game at all. Uh, You've got Warner, you've got Bairstow. I
Yeah.
think if you can get those two out early,
Mm,
you got a chance against this team, yeah, because
definitely.
their middle order is quite inexperienced at the moment. So
Yeah.
uh, they're missing a guy like Williamson, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, Williamson obviously hasn't traveled for
Mm,
this tournament, and we all know what a big player he's been for
yes.
Sunrisers, you know. So with Williamson not being there, there seems to be an imbalance in that batting lineup, which obviously was exposed last night against RCB. You know, quite quite amazingly collapsed.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, we don't have too many collapses, especially like the Punjab match and yesterday's match, which I need to see highlights for. And
Yeah, I mean, let's hope for a
yeah,
cliffhanger. You know, it's
yeah,
you got two quality teams here. Let's hope for a cliffhanger. I
mm,
mean, if I were to if I were to predict this, I'd say this could go to the last over.
okay,
Just like the previous three. That's the nature of the IPL. You know, you're never out of it. Uh,
yes,
we all want to see those close games, but I expect a high scoring game because it's a much smaller venue. So you know, it's gonna be a cracking game.
okay. Well, in that case, we shall watch with bated breath. And yeah, I have to really be. Yeah, I look forward to today's match. And thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Thanks, chat to you soon. Cheers.
Sure, man.